Hi guys, welcome to Sharon's tutorials. So, changing the font size in Word might sound like a real simple thing to do. There's actually quite a few ways to change the font size, and there's also a couple of things to think about before actually going ahead and resizing the text. So to begin with, I would recommend that you choose your actual font type before deciding on what size you want. The reason being that some fonts are wider or narrower than others, so the spacing between the characters will vary. For example, at the moment these two lines here are in Calibri. If I change the size now to size 14, you can see it takes up 3 lines here, and then you might decide you don't like that font, so you want to go to one that's actually a narrow one, and you can see it now only takes up 2 lines. So I would try and decide the actual font type before deciding on the actual size that you want to use. So that's one thing that I would recommend first. Then decide on the bit of text, which bit of text you want to resize. If you start off with a blank document and you want the actual whole document to be a different size to what's the defaulted size, then I would suggest that you select the size before you start typing. You could decide that you want a word changing size. So you just select the word. It could be an actual line, it could be a paragraph. You can even change the size of just one letter if you wanted to. So just highlight which letter you want changing. So to change the font size, you can do any of the following options. You can use the font section of the ribbon. You can use keyboard shortcuts. There's 2 different types of keyboard shortcuts. And you can set the size as default. So I'm going to go through each one of these in this video. The first way is the ribbon option. Firstly, you need to make sure you're on the home tab of the ribbon here. Then go to the font section of the home tab, which is here. And this is where you find your font type and your font size here. So to change size, the first way you could do is by clicking on the drop down arrow to the right of the size here. Click on there and just select one of these sizes. Now you can see it changing as you hover over each one. My documents are actually set to default size 11. So if I want this to be 16, and you can see it's changed. The second way of using the ribbon is to the right of the size box here. There's the large A and a smaller a. So the large A is to increase font size, the smaller a is to decrease font size. It's worth pointing out that when you select either of these, they increase and decrease to the sizes that are actually specified in this list here. So if I just show you, we're on 16 at the moment. If I click this once, it goes up to 18, then 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 36. So you can see there's a big jump, which is what is on this list here, 28 to 36. And I can just decrease again. It follows that same list. And the third way of using the ribbon is to actually manually type in the size you want. We're currently on size 20. I actually want this to be size 21. So go to where the box is for the text size, click on there, so it's highlighted, and then manually type in the size and press enter, and that changes to 21. The second way is by using keyboard shortcuts. So after highlighting the text you want to change, press Ctrl Shift and the greater than symbol to increase the size, or Ctrl Shift and less than symbol to decrease the size. Again, this will be at the same rate as the drop down list that's listed in here. Another keyboard shortcut is Control and the closed square bracket, and that will increase the size, or Control and open square bracket to decrease the size. This will decrease it by 1 point each time, so you can be a bit more exact. So if you look here, I'm currently on 22. So if I want to increase by 1, 23, 24, 25, and if I want to decrease again, I'm now on 23. So there's a couple of handy keyboard shortcuts there to use that are real quick. The third way is to set it as default. So if I want to set this highlighted text as the default font style and size, then again make sure you're on the home tab on the ribbon, and in the font section click on the dialog box launcher, which is this little arrow down in the bottom right corner. Click on there to open the font dialog box. Another quick tip, you can also use keyboard shortcut Ctrl Shift and P, which also opens the dialog box. So because we've highlighted the text, you can see here the size is already set on here. So to set this as default, you just click Set as Default, and you're then asked if you want to set it as default just for this document that you're working on or on all future documents. Now all these documents based on the normal template, so you just choose which one you prefer, and that's it, you're all set. And there you have a few simple ways of changing the font size in your Word document. I hope you found this helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy learning.